Welcome to Vidane TV, as well as the Liberty Racing League. My name is Wes Rowdy Hogue. You know me as the founder of Liberty Racing League, as well as co-host here at SlamDraftin with Liberty Racing League. Here with me is Paul Strickland Jr., as well as we will have a special guest tonight, which is the winner of week 2 last week, Talladega in the Xfinity car, Channing Ballou. Paul, welcome. How you doing?
Doing fantastic, man. Doing great. A little chilly. We were talking about the weather. You guys getting some of the cold down there in Florida this weekend, looks like.
Yeah, it's a bit nipply, But let's cut to the chase. We got only 30 minutes to talk about this. We got a guest. Last week we ran the Xfinity Series at Talladega. Had a blast, an absolute blast. We were kind of leery going into it admin wise because we had such a good Daytona 500 in a car that was a little bit more difficult to drive, that we were afraid that once we got in one of these cars that could be a little bit more aggressive, it was going to be an absolute mess. And we were pleasantly surprised that everybody was out there. We had a little bit of everything. We had long green flag runs. We had green flag pit stops. We had action all over the racetrack, drama, as well as, of course, last lap calamity. It's almost inevitable that's going to happen. From my point of view, battling for the lead, battling with Brent Roy, who made a killer move on me with 2 to go. Caution came out, led us into a green-white checkered. I was able to get a really good restart from the 4th position, got right behind him, was able to get on the high side of him, side by side out of 2. Unfortunately, got a bump from the 5 car of Carpenter, but it was more net code that it was him actually making contact with me, which has pissed me off even more. I probably would have been okay if he would have actually turned me, but he didn't. And then there was just, the whole field that happened up front. The whole field wrecks off turn 2, last lap of Talladega. Leading the race is Jarrett Bolliard as Taylor Lascasi comes on the outside going into 3. Jarrett makes a really late block, taking out not only Taylor but himself. And as the smoke cleared, we had our own Cole Trickle come through, and playing that part of Cole Trickle was Channing Ballou. Channing, do we have you on the line yet?
Solid maybe. We're actually getting him hooked up. Talked to him a little bit. He's on his way home. Just pulled into the driveway. He's jumping off the phone. He's going to hop on the PC here. So it actually looks like he's knocking on the old back door right now. See if we can get him hooked up and get him hooked up on camera as well here. While we do that, we can actually take a look at some of the racing on screen that we saw last week.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy to see that. You made mention, kind of worried a little bit because we had such a good Vidane.net 500.
Right.
What's to expect for race number 2? And man, it was fantastic. Great racing. You made mention long green flag run, and up towards the end we saw 2, 3 green flag pit stops. A couple of cautions at the end, but you know what? That's hard racing, hard super speedway racing. Looking forward to seeing some iRacing super speedway with the trucks here tonight. But man, last week's winner, Channing Ballou, jumped on. Looks like all ready to race here tonight and ready to rock and roll. What's going on, Channing?
What's up, guys? It's good to be on here with you guys. Yeah, everything y'all said about last week's race was true. It was pretty fun, especially with as hard as it was to drive.
Channing, question for you. So I don't exactly know where you were at when it came down to that last lap, where you were at on the track. Unfortunately, the first race you had a little bit of technical issues. You weren't able to make the long 500 miler, but you made sure you were there for the Xfinity race. And walk us through that last lap, because I don't remember you being in the top 5 when that calamity started. So what did you see? Where were you when all this started? How did you get through it?
I think I was about 15th on the restart, and I might have got up to 12th before final lap, and then really it was just hectic trying to make. I knew I just had to make as much ground up as possible. I know we're points racing at the end of this, so I was trying to make as much spots, and it kind of just it fell into my lap. It wasn't anything I did personally, the wreck there on the backstretch when I got up to, I'd say 5th on the final lap on the backstretch is when that's when it opened up. So I was just fortunate to be in the right place at the right time. And 9 times out of 10 at Talladega or Daytona, or we're now tonight, iRacing Super Speedway, it's all about just putting yourself in those spots to where you have a chance to win, and hopefully it falls in your lap. I mean, there's so much variables in super speedway racing. It's tough to win these things.
Yeah, Ross Chastain got his second win of the season last season just by holding his line on the bottom and let everybody wreck. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than have any kind of strategy because usually your strategy goes out the window at these races one way or another. And it
Yeah.
shows that you're never truly out of these super speedway races. Channing, you hear it online often, especially people in our community, the iRacing community, that super speedway racing takes no skill. Anybody can win. What would you say to those people?
I would say there's a lot more to it than just that. One, you've got to be to put yourself in the best position. You have to have great pit stops. If we have green flag pit stops, that race was going to get stretched out, and it was going to be a 10-car breakaway if we didn't have a bunch of cautions that led up to that point. But you've got to be able to, and this is all cars on iRacing. You got to be able to maintain the bubble. So you can't be scared to be right on razor edge of bumping into the guy in front of you, but the guy behind you is also, you got to have complete trust in him. um, and holding your line is huge in iRacing, but super speedways take skill. It's a different kind of skill. Now I have no real life experience at a super speedway, but I would imagine it takes a lot of guts to run 190, 200 miles an hour, door handle to door handle with someone, and trust them to hit their mark. I mean, it's not easy. There's nothing easy about racing, and I've had this saying, and I don't know if this goes for everybody, but if it was easy, everybody would do it. But you just, it's not. It's a skill. There's guys who are really skilled at it, and I think by the end of this season, you're going to see the cream is going to rise to the top, and those guys are going to be in the championship race, and that's ultimately what should happen is the best super speedway plate racers this season should be in the final.
Channing, now that we're really early into this 12-week regular season. Um, Second race out, you get a win, you lock yourself into the 16-man playoff. Does this change how you race? Now, granted, we got bshow.info back online here tonight with this Christmas challenge, by the way. They're paying out $25 just like they did last week. Any other race that we don't have a sponsor, we're paying out $10 per race. But now you're locked in. Does that make you more passive? Do you just kind of ride now, or does it make you more aggressive? Does it change the way that you drive?
I would be a fool to sit up here and try to tell you guys that I'm going to stay the same. And, everything's going to be no. I'm gonna be more aggressive because I know I have that win in the bag. And like you just said, there's $25 on the line. Yeah, it's not a lot of money, but if you put money out on the line, everybody races different, and I'm going to try to win it every time you put it out, and that's just how I'm going to go about it. And that's kind of, if I want to parlay that, is a lot of people have this diction of let's ride in the back and let's try to
Right.
come to our front, but I don't like that strategy because like in last week's race, it got three wide. Where are you going to go? Eventually, I was going to be that guy who's going to put it four wide and try to make something happen, and that can ultimately cause into a nightmare. But I mean, my goal every time we go to these super speedways, and I know it's an impossible goal, but if you make it your goal, lead every lap. I know that sounds crazy, but if you can lead every lap, you've got a good chance to be at the end up front. And normally the front to me feels like you stay out of trouble more. Yes, there's always going to be that one bonsai block somebody's going to throw on you, and it could cost you. But if you're up front the whole race, you know how everybody races up front, and you don't have to hope somebody gives you lane, hope somebody makes you go to the front. You're just already there. And then, like you said, what Chastain did, you could just ride on the bottom and eventually everybody wreck and you get a victory or get a good finish. But I'm not going to change. I've always been aggressive at these places, so I'm definitely going to continue that.
I like that. So let's do this since we still got about 15 minutes here. Tell us a little bit about you, Channing. You're new to our series here. We're
Yeah.
glad to have you. As I'm doing a little bit more advertising here, the floor is yours. Tell us about you, where you're from, your interests, your background in any kind of racing. Let us know about you.
Yeah. Well, originally I started, this would be racing go karts at 6 years old. And then ultimately, I got started racing on NR 2003, which it was very old now. This has come a long way, but I'm only, to put it in perspective, I'm 27 years old. So I haven't really maybe say per doing this a long time, but I've kind of have been at the same. So I have a good amount of experience in this. So I grew up in North Alabama and I've recently moved down to Pensacola after college. I went to Alabama for all 4 years, graduated, got my finance degree, and have literally just my wife has an uncle that gave me the opportunity to come work for him, and we live down here in Pensacola. I live about 10 minutes from Five Flags, so I go to the Derby every year. I go to about, I'd say, 90% of the super late model races and about 70 to 80% of the pro late model races. So I mean, racing's always been a passion of mine. Racing go karts, I've been to the highest level in those. I mean, I wasn't the most successful by any means, but I've been around some pretty heavy hitters. I mean, Trevor Bain, we race go karts in Georgia probably 3 to 4 times a year together. And Trevor was really talented then. I mean, hell, Denny Hamlin raced. There's a bunch of big names that I've raced around. That in the go karting level. But yeah, overall, uh, sim racing is not really like, I wouldn't say my ultimate getaway, but it really it feels the I don't want to go out and buy a race car. I don't want to spend that kind of money, that kind of time, but I can hop on here and have a good time and we can go race any track anywhere and I can tear up as much stuff as I want and we'll just keep racing. You know what I mean?
That's probably the best part for me is the fact that I can tear up all I need to, and all I got to do is hit a reset button, and I don't have to pay any money.
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
the best. That's the best part of it.
where are
Paul,
you going to be able to race anywhere like this? I mean, it's
yeah,
unreal.
it gives us a really good outlet. Paul, you have any questions?
I don't really have any questions, but just kind of going along with what you guys are saying. It's really cool to see. You can kind of jump on iRacing. We talk about this a lot if it ain't TV. You can jump on, and you never really know who you're going to get on with. You could race with some of the guys who used to race with go karts back in the day. Hamlin's on iRacing all the time. Trevor Bain, all those guys, and Dale Jr. I got to race with him a couple of times. I didn't know until after the fact because I was like 4 laps down. But it is what it is. But it's kind of cool to be able to have that mix, have that little bit of real life and the sim racing, and being able to kind of hit that real race or the reset button rather, because those real race cars are expensive.
Yeah. Especially nowadays, a super late model nowadays is, it's like a mini cup team. It's a couple $1 million to run them things. People think,
Those
oh man, I can get a roller and be, right there. I was like, yeah, you could be, but you're not going to spend what the Donnie Wilson racing crew is going to spend or Jet Motorsports. Them guys are spending $2 million. If you really want to compete, you got to have big backing, and it's tough. That's the hardest part about racing is money buys speed. Whether anybody wants to, argue that is all the guys are normally fast. Normally they have a lot of money behind them and help them get to that point.
I agree. Now, do you have any other interests outside of racing? Any other sports entertainment, whatever it might be?
Yeah, growing up in Alabama, I was naturally an Alabama fan, so that's what led me to go to Alabama. But I mean, I enjoy pro football, I enjoy golf, I really enjoy deer hunting in the winter and fall. Man, I like to consider myself an outdoorsman. I like to get outside. This here is great for Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday we can race and do all sorts of stuff to kind of kill that time. But when it comes to the weekend, I like to just get out and try to do something. Just feel feel like it's my obligation to go outdoors.
When it comes to your choice of alcohol, what is it?
Um, Depends. If you're talking beer, Busch Light. If you're talking whiskey or bourbon, Big Wild Turkey, like Elijah Craig, like Russell's is pretty good. Vodka, I dabble in vodka. I drink Tito's, Tito's and tonic or whatever. Not a big wine person, but
So
well,
you
yeah,
go extremely piss cheap with your beer, but you get
yes,
fancy with your
yes,
bourbon.
yes. I look. I can drink. Here's the deal. I can drink any beer.
Yeah.
Preferably I go cheap because quantity in beer is better to me. To me,
Yeah.
quantity. Quantity outweighs quality in beer. That's different when you get into your whiskeys and your bourbon. Quality outweighs quantity. I'd rather have Pappy Van Winkle, it's $1,500 bottle or $2,000 bottle, but uh, yeah, I mean, I try to stay in, we're lucky here in Florida. Our alcohol is pretty cheap. We're paying pretty high on everything else, but our alcohol is cheap.
I can't spend like that kind of money on something for $10 will do the same thing to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I can feel you can get as screwed up or drunk as you want on beer or Heaven Hill whiskey, which is like cheap high school whiskey for me, that
yeah.
you could that you could as anything else.
So back to racing. We got iRacing Super Speedway tonight. We got 80 laps. As usual, setup is 60% fuel, so you're guaranteed to pit at least a few times in this race. Only 2 extra sets of tires. This is a unique racetrack. This racetrack is a fictional racetrack with extremely ridiculous bankings in the corners as well as down the straightaways. At all times, you are on some bankings, and this track will throw you around. With that being said, we know this league has a ton of different experience ratings, so to say. Everybody in this league has different experience, from guys that I think have just entered the server to, decade and longer veterans here in the community. When it comes to iRacing Super Speedway, how do you typically approach that? How do you plan on approaching tonight to get the job done one more time?
Well, this one's definitely way different than Daytona and Talladega. I'm pretty sure we don't have a restrictor plate here, so we can reach speeds above 205 miles an hour in the truck. But on top of that, the super speedway has a very tricky entrance to pit road. It gets extremely flat down there, and exit to pit road is also massive. It's flat before you enter the big banking. And overall, the way iRacing is the truck seems, well, really any car that I've raced there, is the bottom, yes, is still the bottom, but the trucker car likes to plow up or scoot up the racetrack just a little bit. So I think this is where we go back to the skill. There's a skill to hitting your line and wrapping that yellow line down here, even at the super speedway, that's going to get lost. The guy who shoves up the racetrack and goes to a little bit higher banking, he's going to scrub a lot of speed. And I think that's going to be the difference in who's running up front and who's in the back. And the wrecks here are unbelievably wild. I mean, it's a self-cleaning racetrack. They come right back down, and it's unreal. It's definitely a challenge. It's something I think that's, yes, it is fictional, but it is also cool in the same sense that you'll never race anywhere with 40-degree banking or whatever they've got there.
Absolutely. So just a quick last note here for you, Channing. You're obviously new to us. As I spoke before, we've never raced together before. I'm not sure if you found us online or a recruitment race, whatever the hell it was. You joined with us, which we're very thankful for. I want you to kind of take the floor here and kind of tell your experience so far, and please be blunt. Just because I'm the owner of the league doesn't mean I can't take criticism. Kind of your experience and why you would, if you would, recommend Liberty Racing League to somebody else.
Well, I mean, look, I've had, it's hard to say that I've had a hard time. One race, one win, but overall, the racing was really, really good. I mean, it was really good for a long period of time, and I'm always a straight shooter. I'm not going to, BS you all at here. I mean, we had green flag pit stops. I enjoy the fuel percentage. A lot of people look at that in the wrong way. Oh, I got to pit. No, I like a Daytona and Talladega. I like a little bit of strategy. Maybe you can save a little bit. I mean, it's one thing that kind of breaks up the monotony of us running around for 50 odd laps. Really, yeah, we're racing, but we're not racing to our full intent. But if you start making those pit stops, it makes everybody realize, hey, I need to find a group. Hey, we need to get on pit road. We need to do this, and we need to be the fastest at it. And I think it adds a little pep in the step for everybody. So I'm excited about this season. I'm glad I don't remember how I found you guys. I'm almost positive, and I might be mistaken, but I think I raced with Wes on the PS4 probably back in NASCAR Heat.
That's crazy.
So that didn't know that till later on, but when I seen his name, I know that we raced together somewhere.
Good chance. So
on the
Paul,
PS4.
I'm gonna let you pick this up real quick. We got a few minutes, but Paul, something unexpected has happened in a good way. and I may have a really big surprise coming in about a minute or two. So we're not going to cut at 7 p.m. We're not cutting at 7 p.m. There's a reason why. So
okay,
I'm going to step away here just for a couple minutes, and I'll be back.
This could literally be anything, knowing Wes. Like, just everybody out there and Channing, I know you've kind of new to the party here, but yeah, that could literally be anything with him. So let's kind of threw me. It's only live TV, right? So we'll kind of get this sorted out. And you've given us kind of your background. What are you looking forward to most here for the next, the rest of the season and kind of in the future of sim racing? Do you have any goals? Obviously, it'd be cool to get that championship belt, right?
Yeah, I mean, always. Anytime you throw, like I said, you throwing money up, I'm going to try to win it. That's the ultimate goal. Every time anybody throws any money up in racing is to try to win it. And I think, getting a chance at a championship is always something. I don't care if we're racing the soapbox derby in our backyard. If you keep points for it, running for a championship is always something. I'm very competitive in anything I do, so I like the opportunity that I have. That now that I locked myself into the playoffs, but it doesn't stop there. I got to, I have this thing about me. I want to just keep winning. I know it's just so cliche, but I gotta keep winning. But I got to race better than I did the last race. I had to use my fast repair up. That is another part of this whole sim racing thing. Is it adds another strategy of who can save that fast repair late if they have a big wreck with 15 to go, and there's only 10 guys that have a fast repair left. That makes the field way spread out. So I'd like to race a lot better, which starts. I know this is weird at a super speedway. People think qualifying doesn't matter, but I'd like to qualify up front, and I'd like to start up front, stay up front, and keep myself out of all the bad possibilities that could happen behind me. Because this track is going to pose some challenges because there's a big speed difference than we've ever seen, and it also the suck in the draft is bigger than it normally is, and it really pulls you in closer. The closing rate gets really quick.
Yeah, 100%. And it's Wes is back, so Wes is back with a surprise.
So this is crazy that this just happened. Paul, do you have any idea?
I actually do. Just looking at you open a box, I'm actually really, really, really excited now.
It looks like a blue box.
Without further ado, Channing, it's kind of cool that you're here. What has arrived?
Live on the air. Nobody knew this was happening, by the way.
No, not even me.
I'm ready for it. What is it?
What has arrived?
Let's got a puppy. Oh, that's not a puppy.
Championship title.
Oh, the belt.
So
the bad belt.
Live.
Oh.
That's still got the saran wrap on it. Look at that.
Yes.
Wow. This is my first time seeing UPS just stopped by. This is my first time seeing it in person. If you're viewing right now.
So technically that should just be on my shoulder for the right now, or I should be holding it. Yeah, that's dope.
That is nice.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous championship belt. Hard to see it because I know the camera probably doesn't show it off because of this.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect.
We see Liberty League. It says Liberty Racing League Super Speedway Champion. 2022 Super Speedway Champion there. On this side, Liberty Racing League, right there. The belt is here. Beautiful stitching, beautiful leather on the strap.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's
going to have it on their waist
here
or shoulder
in the next 15, 16 weeks. And they're going to be able to throw it over their shoulder and call themselves the 2022 Liberty Racing League Super Speedway Champion. I've been chasing this for over a decade.
Literally.
And I've yet to win it. Paul can tell
Literally.
I've been second a couple times.
Well, look, here's the deal. You got to have that chase right there. And that trophy you got right there, if it's going to sit in your house, you're gonna chase that thing right there even harder, because now you can look at it and say, I got to get near it.
Paul, if you can, I'm going to need you to clip this from the time I came back in.
Yep, absolutely.
Just a couple moments ago, so I can save it as a separate video so I can share it, as well as so you can share it separately as well.
Yeah, man. We'll get that put together before this weekend. Actually, we'll get that.
This belt, until it's time to depart, or until it's time for me to put it up on my mantle, which is what I'm going to try to do, it's going to stay safely and secure in this box. And I'm about to go put it away, so just give me one moment.
So pretty cool to see. And, Wes has been in that chase for that belt for quite a long time. Ian Plash won the original one we did way back when. I don't even remember the year. I want to say it was 20...
That was on NR 2003 also. Ian Plash's name is familiar to me.
I went into it tied.
Yeah, we were in iRacing by 2014, right? I know we were around.
For sure.
Okay.
Yes, that's when we had tandem drafting.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah. And then Jared Bolliard came home with the second one. We paired up with Sim 500. Richard Beasley got himself a championship belt as well, I believe. I'll have to double check on that.
Jared Bolliard as well.
And Jared Bolliard, he got his 6 months after the fact because the United Postal Service lost it, which was incredibly stressful, but neither here nor there. But it's getting to be top of the hour, getting ready. I know the server's ready to get rocked and rolled, so watch you set the thing up here before we went live. What are we looking forward to, Wes? What do we got going on tonight?
Again, we got 80 laps here tonight at iRacing Super Speedway in the trucks, 60% fuel, 1 quick repair, 2 extra sets of tires. It's funny. We had more people for week 2 that only paid $25 than we did for week 1 that paid $100. Maybe not everybody wanted to sit around for 500 miles, and 212 miles sounded better. But we're hoping for a big crowd again, hoping for a big turnout. We're ready to have some fun. This group that I'm going to say this over and over again, this group that we have might be the best group that we have ever had. And that's no insult to anybody that is that's raced with Liberty. We've only been here for a little over a year. I'm thankful for everybody that helped get us on the map. But when it comes to quality of racing, and I'm just going to say just the quality of people, we've had some issues with younger cats stirring up drama, or people slandering and stuff like that to other drivers, or flaming, as children used to call it. That's something that we don't put up with anymore. It's all about respect, competitive respect, and just remembering this is our escape from reality. And this group has done nothing but that. And I am extremely proud to be a part of this group. I never want to throw that ownership tag around and act like that I built this, because I didn't. It takes a village, right? It takes everybody to build this. I'm just happy that I get to be a part of it, and I'm able to hit the buy now button every week and set up these sessions and give myself, as well as everybody else, an opportunity to be part of the Liberty Racing League and continue this up. So, all right, well, I'm going to get strapped in, and we're going to have some fun. Channing, good luck tonight.
Good luck to you too, sir.
For sure. And again, Paul, thank you for allowing us to do this here at SlamDraftin with Liberty Racing League. Tonight's race, again, is brought to you by bshow.info. It is the holiday challenge. We are awarding the winner $25 tonight, which just let everybody know, the entry fee for the season is only $20 for the entire season. So in one race, you can do like Channing did and win your money back plus 5. You can do that easily tonight. So
yeah, we're sitting in the green right now, guys.
Yes. So
up 5.
Right, I'm going to get ready, and Paul, I'll talk to you here soon, and I'm sure you'll call a good race there at Vidane TV.
100%. Going to be less than an hour away from the green flag. Go grab yourself a quick snack, couple of drinks, and come right back here to Vidane TV. We're going to be kicking it off. Doubleheader tonight. Oh, by the way, Liberty Racing League at 8 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, the Canadian Kartplex Racing Series coming back in for race number 4. So do not miss it. We'll be back right here on Vidane TV. you've heard It's a Wonderful Life and The Miracle on 34th Street, even Jingle All the Way. Wow. But tonight, here on Verdane TV, it's the holiday season and it's Liberty Racing League. It is the bshow.info Holiday Challenge. You don't get too many of those live here on Verdane TV. Thank you so much for tuning in to Liberty Racing League's bshow.info Holiday Challenge, easy enough for me to say, here at the fictional, made-up video game rendition of the iRacing Super Speedway. It is a 3-mile super speedway with, I think, 40-degree bankings. Absolutely massive racetrack. Going to be fun to catch up with some of these guys out on track. Taking a quick little look-ski there at the racing standings, the championship standings, after 2 races. There you see Rob Collier spelt the name wrong on the very first one. Sorry about that, Rob. We'll get that fixed next week. And John Ballou, saw him on SlamDraftin earlier on tonight. Be sure to check that out in the same stream link as well. Both those cats got a win. They're going to be racing for that championship belt in the championship at the end of the season. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We saw that gorgeous championship belt debuted on SlamDraftin with Liberty Racing earlier this evening. Check out the Liberty Racing League Facebook page for that clip as well. Thank you to bshow.info and Joe with Doorstop Nation for jumping on board with the sponsorships tonight. And it looks like we're already getting ready to line them up on the grid. How about that? Get those points out of here. We're talking about racing right now at iRacing Super Speedway. These drivers just getting wrapped up with qualifying here. Open qualifying sessions here in the Liberty Racing League, which basically means all of the drivers are out on track at the very same time. And what that allows them to do is it allows them to kind of get their trucks into racing trim, and it allows them to get out there and get a really quick lap and really show that they know how to draft around this racetrack. And one of the guys that knows how to draft around this racetrack going to be the guy that's starting on the pole, and it's going to be a guy that right now is in possession of that championship belt. He is hungry, and that man's rowdy. Wesley Hogue, founder of the Liberty Racing League here, and he has been chasing that championship belt for over a decade. Verdane Racing, the Sim 500 Verdane Super Speedway Series Championship. As we can see, all these drivers getting lined up on the racetrack, getting ready to do some racing. 80 laps on the docket here this evening. And we'll take a look at that starting lineup. We made mention Wes Hogue going to be up there on the front row. Michael Hicks in the 76 car going to start in second. Chad Lancaster there in the 22 car. Sean Calvin going to start in fourth. Adam Benefield going to round out the top 5 with Jax Duvall there starting in P6. Nick McClellan starting a 12 car there in 7th. Rob Collier, winner of the first race, the Verdane.net 500 in the 02 car, going to start P8 with Kevin West starting P9 and rounding out the top 10. It's going to be John Ballou. We saw him win last week, and again, we saw him on the SlamDraftin with Liberty Racing there earlier this evening. So we get the timing and scoring all sorted out here. Already having issues with the buttons. We'll get it all sorted out. There you can see that is a great shot there on the racetrack. Just all these trucks lined up and down the front straightaway, giving the fans an opportunity to kind of take a look at all the drivers' paint schemes there as we see the starting lineups kind of sifting through there on your screen. Heavy racing field again here tonight for race number 3. 33 drivers in the field getting ready to take the green flag here tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4 Canadian folks in here. Everybody else from the United States. Not that matters. It's always cool to see different folks from different sides of the world. Well, I guess it's the same side of the world. Jumping and racing with each other. And that was one of the things we talked about on SlamDraftin with Liberty Radio earlier here this evening. You can see the drivers getting rolled off. Look at that 76 car. Great paint scheme on that. Michael Hicks has a lot of extra chrome with all, or a lot of extra horsepower with all that chrome on that paint scheme for sure. But it's going to be interesting. 80 laps here. Again, a fictional racetrack. iRacing Super Speedway. It's a 3-mile behemoth of a racetrack. Let's see if we can kind of zoom out this camera angle just a little bit. Maybe take a look from the blimp. See if we can maybe take a look from the spotter stand just so you can see just how big this racetrack is. And drivers are going to be all over it. It's not out of question to be 4, 5, even 6 wide at this racetrack. So it's going to be great racing. We saw last week 2, 3 wide, 12 rows deep, almost the entire field, all lined up, ready to rock and roll. And man, oh man, with extra extra real estate here this evening on this 3-mile track compared to the 1.66 or 2.66 at Talladega last week. It's going to be a heck of a show to watch. So the drivers all getting lined up behind the pace car. Looks like we're going to get ourselves a couple of pace laps to get everything kind of sorted on out here. You can see just a huge racetrack all the way around this place. A little onboard action. A little bit different dashboard interior there on the trucks. You can see the lights are, in fact, still on that iRacing pace car. So we're going to take one more lap around this racetrack. And it's just a huge racetrack. Cannot give it enough oomph, is that for lack of a better term. We're actually going to see these drivers come down pit road here, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on. So we'll find out here together. Well, that was a little on the outside. But now I think we're going to get lined up 2 by 2 there. You can see the iRacing pace car lights are, in fact, off. So we're going to get racing here next time by. It looks like, there we go. We're getting them lined up 2 by 2. Giving everybody a little bit extra TV time, a little bit of familiarity with the pit road entrance and exit as well. It's one of these things, one of the things that these drivers are going to have to keep in mind here. They're very different pit road. It's not something you've practiced on other games or other simulators or even in real life. For any of the drivers that may have been out doing some sort of on-track thing, it's a fictional racetrack, so always a good opportunity to make sure, always a good right back on the iRacing pace car. Lights off. So that should very well be the one to go. We will see. We'll find out together here live on Canadian TV. It's only live TV. It's only live. But a healthy field here on hand. 33 drivers making the call for this one, the third race of the season. We took a look at points, and you know what? We're going to take a look at points again. We got a little bit of time here. There you can see the top 2 drivers, Rob Collier and John Ballou. Those are the 2 drivers that have won so far, and they have locked themselves a spot in the championship. Rob Collins, well, we actually have to move him on to third. It's going to be Michael. Now the names are all messed up. But in any sense, a close, tight battle. We'll get that points taken care of here for race number 3. Race number 4, hard to believe we're already starting race 3 here this evening with Liberty Racing League. These guys racing for that championship belt. Made mention earlier already. That belt finally made it to Wes's house. Got delivered. UPS man dropped it off this evening. Dropped it off while we were live on the air during SlamDraftin with Liberty Racing, and you can check out that clip over on the Liberty Racing League Facebook page as well as the YouTube link there. But all lined up behind the pace car. Looks like the pace car lights are indeed out this time. We should see that pace car make that hard left-hand turn to the safety of pit road. And we should see a little green flag action. You can see there's quite a bit of a gap there between the pace car and the front 2 starters, Wes Hogue and Michael Hicks, starting on the front row. We'll see what the pace car does this time by coming up to the entrance on pit road, or of pit road, rather. And there he goes. So he's going to go down to pit road. It seems like They think the racetrack is ready to rock. We think the racetrack is ready to rock. And these drivers, absolutely ready to rock. They wait till the green flag flies. Barney in the flag stand says, go, go, go. We're racing here at iRacing Super Speedway for the bshow.com Holiday Challenge. A big gulp of the hot cocoa, because it is a cold night here in Verdane HQ, and it looks like big wreck towards the back. Caution flag flying already here on lap number 1. And there you see a couple of drivers getting caught up in this one. So one of the benefits of this racetrack being so big, there's a lot of room to kind of collect yourself if you do get kind of caught up in an incident. You can see that kind of happened here. We'll take a look from the blimp, the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay. The initial action starts on the left-hand side of your screen, and there you can see the 933 dipping all the way down here. We'll see if we can catch a number as still having that stuttering issue there, but it doesn't look like, it's easy enough for us to say, it doesn't look like there were any real big hits there. A couple of drivers kind of getting up into the wall and into each other, but it looks like everything got itself sorted out. But caution flag going to fly here at iRacing Super Speedway. A couple of drivers electing to, actually all the drivers still electing to stay out. Pit road still closed that time by. So a little bit of time for these drivers to kind of think about maybe potentially coming down here early on to just kind of top up the fuel tank. We had a lot of long green flag runs last week at Talladega in the Xfinity cars. A little bit different beast here with the trucks, but still anybody's ball game when you get into it as far as strategy goes. And there you see Wes Hogue going to give up the lead. No, he's not. He's going to come right back out on the racetrack. He ain't fooling nobody. Coming out here on lap number 2. Going to cross the stripe here to take lap number 3. Multi-truck incident here. Doesn't look like anybody was too worse for wear, but at this point, about 10th on back, maybe 8th place on back. They're going to come down and get some service to their race trucks, and that's actually going to give us a really good opportunity to just take a quick and ferocious break here at Verdane TV. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the bshow.info Holiday Challenge from here at iRacing Super Speedway. Pace cars down and away, and we're racing once again, crossing the stripe here for a second restart here on lap number 5. Multi-truck incident. Seems like everybody A-OK. Still 33 cars out on the racetrack, and by cars I mean trucks. Check that, 32, Jason Foskey still down on pit road in number 3 truck as the pace car gets down and away, and you can see on that restart, everybody getting kind of stretched out. Head single file very, very quickly as we get jammed on through the gears. You can see the 22 car trying to make a little magic happen. Lancaster up on the high side. Hogue down at the bottom there into 38. Has seen that championship belt in person, and he wants to win that championship belt. Very hungry and chasing after it for over a decade, but he has to race all of the other drivers in this Liberty Racing field. And you can see Chad Lancaster in the 22 going to move all the way up to the point. Adam Benefield now leading the outside line in that number 9 truck. Sean Calvin, Taylor Laskowski, Nick McClellan still up there in the top 7 or so. Jax Duvall, Leon Kenningsting, and Christopher Kurtz going to be the top 10 for now. Second caution flag flies, and we'll see if we can pull up the old U-House Racing Designs instant replay to see exactly what it was that happened to bring this caution flag out. '17 car, Kevin West, finding himself pointed in the wrong direction here, but it looks like he made a little contact with the outside wall, and looks like looks like it might have been a little bit of a connection issue here as we take a peek here again on the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. Focus in the 17 truck up on the outside. You can see not really any contact there, but the 17 car goes up and around into the outside fence. Doesn't collect anybody else, and no other damage on that 17 truck other than that inside rear quarter panel, but still looks like he's going to be able to keep on here. Lancaster holds on to the lead. Hogue second, Hicks, Benefield, and Colvin going to be the top 5 as we take one more quick break here at Bedane TV. Back here live at Verdane TV, had ourselves a restart, another quick caution flag. Didn't quite catch what happened here, but we will get everything sorted up as just waiting for timing and scoring to kind of get caught back up here. Waiting for the field to get caught back up. As you can see, there's a couple of cars there on pit road and just trying to get around, get all these drivers lined back up behind what appears to be the third caution flag here of the evening. So you can see the iRacing pace car going to gather the field back up here, crossing the stripe for lap number 10. And it seems there's been a lot of drivers kind of involved in this one as it gets timing and scoring to get itself updated here. Everybody lined up on the racetrack once again here, working lap number 11 with a caution flag here early on in this one. Lots of room on this racetrack, lots of room to make mistakes here at iRacing Super Speedway. So these drivers know that they're going to be doing everything they can to kind of avoid what's going on in front of them, beside them. Kind of a head on a swivel here. You can see a couple of drivers coming off of pit road to rejoin the field here. Taking a look at timing and scoring now that it has in fact, I think, potentially fixed itself here. 28 cars still on the lead lap. The first one to be Freddie Durstock Sr. in that number 7 Toyota. Wesley Hogue trapped a lap down in the number 38 truck as well. So that is not what the rowdy one was looking for. It looks like 2 laps down for Hogue in the 38 car. Back up front, Lancaster in the 22, Hicks in the 76, Colvin, McClellan, and Keniston in the top 5. There goes the pace car. Is going to dip on down to the safety of pit road. We're going to see ourselves some green flag racing. Once Barney in the flag stand. Forgot how long this front straightaway is. Jamming on through the gears. There it is. Indeed, the green flag racing. Once again, here these trucks thundering down this massive front straightaway down into turns 1 and 2. 3 miles around the super speedway Speedway. No restrictor plates on these trucks. 40-degree banking in the corners. And you can see there's a lot of room on the racetrack and not really much room for these drivers to kind of get lined up and drafting. You can see a little bit of a connection issue, it looks like, for the 22, but he's going to try and hold on to the lead as the rest of the field tries to gather themselves kind of back up where they were. You can see lots of snaking through this. Drivers trying to get a little bit of momentum going, but it's tough to get going with these trucks unless you've got someone really pushing that back bumper. Trucks starting to get lined up and working together here. As you can see, there's definitely a bottom line. It's got about 6 trucks. A little bit of a wiggle there for the third truck in line there. I believe that might have been Kurtz in the 51 truck. That might be mistaken, but a big wiggle, good save there. That was for the 82 truck. But you can see those Warrior Motorsports drivers up there as well. Another slow truck as well. Those drivers trying to get lined up. This is the perfect track where you really get a bunch of teammates lined up, single file, and get around this racetrack. Oh, 22 around and hard into the outside. Safer barrier collects the number 24 car. The 35, I believe that was involved as well. Caution flag flies once again here at iRacing Super Speedway. So with the benefit of those with flash photography, we'll back up the tapes one more time for the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. Find out exactly what went down with that number 22 truck. Kind of saw it happen a little bit on live there. There you can see big momentum from that kind of coming up the middle, and then a 22 gets a little piece of the action. Kind of almost tries to straighten him back out, but this definitely could have been a whole lot worse. You can see a lot of drivers able to get down and around on the bottom side, able to avoid calamity there, but tough break for the 22 Lancaster, going from leading the race all the way back down towards the back of the pack, still on pit road. Rush hour down on pit road. Everybody coming down except for Kevin West. We saw him involved in an earlier caution. He's going to stay out and lead himself a lap, get himself a bonus point on this one. But how about the field? Everybody coming down pit road. This is one of those racetracks you do not want to get caught a lap down or even multiple laps down here. 3 miles a lap is a lot of distance to try and make up on the racetrack and on pit road. And you can see some of these drivers just stopping real quick for a splash of gas and right back out. I haven't really had too much hard racing on these tires, so you can see a lot of fuel only stops, a couple of 2 tires, and everybody else, for a few drivers towards the back here, going to take themselves 4 tires as they race off the pit road. A little bit of war of attrition here at iRacing Super Speedway, as a handful of wrecks here, 4 cautions early, and a lot of tore up race trucks. So it's going to be kind of something to behold here to see who's going to be able to hold on to this one throughout the rest of it. But we are going to take one more scheduled commercial break. We'll be right back here on Verdane TV and catch the rest of the bshow.info Holiday Challenge. all lined up 2 by 2 once again. Couple of drivers, and by a couple I mean everybody, coming down pit road except for that man, the number 17 truck of Kevin West, electing to stay out on track at least for this one. And see if we can take a quick peek at our pit strategy board here, and we'll see 13 laps on the tires for West, and hasn't been down pit road since the beginning of this one, so we'll see how long he can hold on with those fresh or those older tires up in the front. But there you can see, not going to be too hard to follow that. Great restart for the 17 truck, pulls away by 3 or 4 truck lengths. As you can see, this again on these restarts, the field kind of accordions out, stretches out just a little bit. They become single file, and they kind of find who they want to work with. So it's a really good track to be able to get organized with your teammates and folks that you normally would run. There you can see a handful of trucks going up on the outside line, trying to get a little magic to happen there. It's the 02 of Collier. How about that? Won the Verdane.net's 500 at Daytona a couple of weeks ago. And that 02 truck showing he's very strong here tonight. Qualified up in the top 10. Currently running in a P3, leading that outside line there. The 9 truck down on the bottom side, Adam Benefield. Little chrome action on that number. Holding a good line down on the bottom side. He's got some help in behind him. McClellan in the 12 truck. Hicks in the 76 are there. Matt Swope, Leon Keniston, Sean Calvin, John Ballou, last week's winner, up in the mix. And there you can see Michael Carpenter there as well, just outside the top 10, looking in, trying to get hooked up with those iRacing Warrior teammates of his, and see if they can get themselves up towards the front just a little bit, but they're still going to have to get around Kevin West in the 17 truck. And made mention he stayed out on pit road when the caution flag flew, did not take tires. Everybody else behind him, right behind him, came down. They took fuel only, just to splash the gas, kind of top the tank off, and make sure that if we do in fact have a green flag run, they can stay out as long as they can. A little 3-wide action here. The truck gets stuck up on the outside line, a little no man's land up there, but as these drivers get around the racetrack, they know that they're going to be keeping an eye on those tires. We didn't really use them too much in the first 10, 15 laps or so, with those couple of real quick cautions. But now we've got some good heavy racing, a lot of bumping and beating, banging, good drafting around here. You can see the Toyota machine getting ready to go a lap down. That's going to be Jackson Hall, I believe the 84 truck rather. Nope, just kidding. That's the 7 of Freddie Pitchford. Another lap down. Getting caught up in an earlier incident there. Everybody gets down and away, no problem. One of the benefits here at iRacing Super Speedway, there's just so much room all the way around, and you're able to really utilize the racetrack as you need to. And you can see just as they get into the corners here, there's a lot of room for getting in there and kind of drafting, but there is also a lot of room for errors. You can see, just like on the highway when you're driving to work, driving from work, you can see there's 3 or 4 lanes down the interstate, and maybe you want to be all the way over in the left one, but you can't get there because there's 2 trucks or cars in the middle there. So that's what these kind of drivers are working with here, except it's not like Daytona, Talladega, or at least Talladega, where you've got dotted lines, dashed lines across the road, and here you've got kind of the paving roads, which is kind of something you can keep an eye on to kind of find your marks here as we see these drivers all real close quarters here. Riding on board now with the 91 car, Sean Calvin running in on the left. You can see the truck gets out wide. The 8 truck's going to get by on the outside there as well. But as they kind of get down into the corner, down to the bottom side, they really kind of pull that line back up. So it's a huge momentum deal at iRacing Super Speedway, where these drivers know that you've really got to get hooked up with somebody that knows what they're doing, someone that's going to be able to push you towards the front or pull you up towards the front. And apparently drivers are a little bit tired of riding around this great big long racetrack under caution, so the racing much cleaner than it was just a few laps to go to kick this thing off. A lot of give and take with these drivers. They know there's a lot on the line here. $10 for each win. You got to get the points. You got to get that championship berth, because you got to get yourself a shot to win that beautiful Liberty Racing League Super Speedway Championship belt. Saw that on SlamDraftin with Liberty Racing League earlier tonight. You can check that out on YouTube, Facebook, and it'll be hooked up on the Liberty Racing League Facebook page. But up front still, it's going to be Kevin West dropping on back to second position. The O2 now of Collier trying to make himself the first repeat winner of the year. The O2 truck moving towards the front. Half dozen or so trucks all lined up single file, but you can see there is a line coming up on the high side. You can see 5 trucks hooked up bumper to bumper there, and there's a few more trucks kind of holding back just a little bit there in the back of the pack, trying to maybe see if they can get themselves a run and make a third line around here at iRacing Super Speedway. Be great racing all the way around. Plenty of room to do it. We saw these drivers absolutely have the discipline to do some 3-wide racing. Phenomenal race last week at bshow.com 212 at Talladega. Man, 3-wide racing for about 12 rows deep for 20 to 30 laps. Lots of green flag pit stops, green flag racings last week, and starting to get a little bit more of the same ordered up here tonight. Collier in the O2 truck holding on, but now he's got the 62 at Chevy Blue, last week's winner. So the 2 winners, it's funny, John Blue was on SlamDraftin with Liberty Racing this evening, and he made mention the cream is really going to rise to the top in this championship. Oh, the leaders almost taking each other's out as they try to converge into each other. They're not really sure what the communication or the lack thereof was there. But man, great save, great heads-up driving by these drivers. But we heard John Ballou in that 62 truck, the leader of the race, last week's winner. He said the cream is going to rise to the top in this championship, and it's crazy to see the 2 drivers that have won here so far this season, the first 2 races, up there in the top 3. Huge wreck in behind them. Actually, it looks like it was just a couple of trucks, but it sounded big. Caution flag going to fly once again here on lap 25. Backing up the tapes here with the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay, trying to get the exact moment of that caution flag. And we'll get that to you here momentarily. But great racing so far here. Once these drivers kind of get hooked up with who they're working with, who they were kind of maybe practicing with or even qualifying with here as we get the tapes all backed up here and the booth. It's crazy to see just what it is these drivers are trying to do. They're trying to get up towards the front. They're trying to do it now because they know that everything here. You can see the contact, 933 out of the outside wall, the 9 car, the 23 involved, the 24 got a little piece of the action there. But it was like not all that bad there. So 24 going to stay out on track. John Ballou, last week's winner in the 62, going to hold on to the lead for now. 2 truck, Matt Telded, that Toyota coming up into second. Rob Collier third, Kevin West, and Michael Hicks the top 5. Brian Skidmore, Nick McClellan, Christopher Kurtz, Michael Carpenter, and Matt Swope going to round out the top 10. Everybody coming down pit road this time. We'll see Kevin West, he won some tires for sure. He held on that time coming down 4th in a line here, coming down pit road. Nope, Kevin West is going to, nope, just kidding. Kevin West is down pit road. That's the 51 of Kurtz. Christopher Kurtz electing to stay out. Beautiful paint scheme there. The U.S. Air Force, awesome looking truck. Sean Colvin, going to stay out as well in the 91 truck. But everybody else coming down pit road. They want tires. They want mainly fuel and maybe another hot cocoa or 2. I think that sounds pretty good. There you see the iRacing pace car has shut the lights on top off. Going to be taking that left-hand turn down to the safety of pit road once again here on lap 28. We're going to cross the stripe and take lap number 29. And you can see Barney and the flagman making them wait as Donovan Gerald at 24 going to rejoin the field here. Green flag flies at 51. Staying out on track, Christopher Kurtz going to hold on to the lead. John Ballou up on the high side. No, just kidding. He's already down on the bottom side. Holding on to that second spot, and you can see the third place of Sean Collins going to try and take that 91 car up towards the front, about the 23 spots gained for the world number 75, Brian Skidmore. That Toyota up in the top 5 right now, currently in 5th. Nick McClellan up there, Bobby Anderson, Michael Carpenter, Matt Slope, they're hooked up as well. Michael Hicks rounding out the top 10. Kevin West all the way back there in 11th after coming around pit with the rest of the field this time by. And pretty much even Steven as far as tires go. The 51 on a few lap older tires there, staying out under that last caution flag, but still racing his way up to the second spot. He's going to move on to the high side there. Lead that all the way up towards the spot. Says, thank you, come again. Jumps on down to the bottom side. That 51 car truck of Kurtz going to lead that lap, and we're going to come down into turns number 1. Caution again here on lap 30. 6th caution flag of the night. You can see big time damage for last week's winner, the 62 truck of John Ballou. And we'll take a look at the U-House Racing design. Looks like that truck may very well be under power. You can see out there it wants to try and avoid a tow truck by any stretch of the imagination, because it takes a long time for those tow trucks to putz around this place, but it's looking like he may need himself a little bit of a push. Under power, motor might be Kaputski in the 62 truck. If he can get down to pit road, he'll be able to use that quick repair. Oh, he find himself up into the aerial parts of the sky there, the 62 car. We're going to find out what went down here on the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay. Focus in on that 62 truck, and you can see just what it was that I saw going backwards as you guys get to see it forwards. There you can see, there it is, hard into the outside wall, gets tagged a couple of times, catches that catch fence, and slams that thing right back onto the ground. The motor popped. You saw the black smoke there as soon as he left the ground, and you can hear that thing just kind of stuttering there at that point, but you can hold on just 1 second. We'll take a look at it again. We've got ourselves a rule here at Vidane TV. If the car goes upside down, we got to take a look at the cockpit view. You can see it. Going to try and chase down the 51 of Kurtz to see if he can get down around the leader. And everything looks good so far. U.S. Air Force on the back bumper shot up there. The Esports Racing Association on the spoiler. There you can see down on the bottom side, everything looks A-okay. Down to the bottom front, yelling in line, and man, it's tough to tell. It's a couple of drivers going for the same piece of real estate, and you can see that's the end result. Tough break for last week's winner, and he's going to be down on pit road as he gets that thing taken care of. And everybody else coming down pit road as well. We rejoin the shot live. Handful of drivers staying out. Telder, McClellan, Gibson, Rogers, and oh, there he is, Hogue. Hogue stays out, catches himself a lucky dog, back on the lead lap, stays out for the track position, right back close to where he qualified, just outside of that pole position, in at P5 right now. So don't have too many laps on the tires, I don't believe. There you can see everybody pretty much, even Steven coming down last time by. So Rowdy Hogue back into this one. Pit stop's done here at iRacing Super Speedway. Got ourselves a lap or two under caution flag, so grab yourself a quick snack, grab a quick drink. We're going to do the same here at Vidane TV. Do not go anywhere, though. Don't go far. We'll be right back to carry on with the Liberty Racing League bshow.info Holiday Challenge. Long race on the docket, 80 laps around this 3-mile super speedway racetrack, and starting to show a little bit of a war of attrition, but not too bad. Still 25 drivers out on the racetrack on the lead lap. A couple of drivers caught a lap down or so due to earlier race incidences. A couple of drivers still kind of parked on the garage or on pit road in the garage area, trying to get the sheet metal banged out. Few incidences here. You can see not even quite halfway, and we're already 6 cautions deep in this one. So lots of room around this racetrack, but a lot of room for error. We're going to see if we can get things sorted back out. The racing, though, has been very, very good. Taylor McClellan going to restart up on the front as we wait for that green flag. You can always tell when the drivers are watching on the Dane TV while they're racing. As we mentioned, 3-wide racing, and alas, there's 3-wide racing. Brent Roy in the 26 truck taking his ride up towards the center. He's going to try and move up towards the front. You can see Wes Hogue dropping to the bottom side. 38 going to drop towards the back of the pack in a big, ferocious way. It actually looks like that 38 truck under power. It looks like something is broken in the 38 truck. We'll have to see if we can maybe hook up with Wes later on and find out what it was that what went down. But how about the 75 up towards the front? Skidmore has a big push from Hicks in the 76 truck. McClellan, Rob Collier and Matt Telder up in the top 5. Gibson, Anderson, Rogers, Roy Brown, the top 10. You can see Wes Hogue very off the pace. That motor is definitely soured. I don't believe Wes has used a quick repair, so if he can get a quick caution flag here without going a lap down, he'll be able to use a quick repair, and he might very well get that opportunity. We'll see what's are in the cards. 75 hard into the outside wall. Caution flag flies once again, just shy of halfway here at iRacing Super Speedway. And on the U-House Racing Designs, that's Skidmore, the 75 truck, our leader, wrecking from the lead. 76 gives him a little bit of a sour bump. Oh, pancakes it right in the outside wall, outside safety barrier. Thick black smoke from under the hood of that thing. That motor is cooked. We'll see if the 75 truck is able to get that thing back. It looks like he's going to be able to limp it to pit road. We'll see if he does indeed have a quick repair still lined up, but 76 going to hold on to the lead. The 12 from McClellan, Rob Collier, Matt Telder, and Bobby Gibson going to be the top 5. I actually do. Michael Hicks, Nick McClellan coming down pit road, or staying out on the racetrack. Everybody else coming down pit road, led by Rob Collier, Matt Tell. They're going to come down. Sean Colvin going to stay out in the 98 truck, as is Christopher Kurtz in the 51. Everybody else, though, going to come down pit road and grab a little bit of fuel, a little bit of tire action, and get themselves some service here as we get ready to make the restart here right at lap 40, it looks like. And you can see it looks like a lot of just quick splashes of fuel down and away for the entire field as everybody looks through it here. So it's more of the same. There you can see a couple of drivers towards the back. They're going to take 2 tires, maybe 4 tires, just to put them on. Hey, if you put them on the racetrack, you don't have to put them back in the virtual hall. Right? Right. So these drivers are going to get everything lined up. We'll get things re-racked and re-racked and re-racked and restacked. And we're going to be racing here and taking over the second half of this race here, the bshow.info Holiday Challenge. Check out bshow.info as well. And you can actually take a peek here due to the beautiful things that we have here in technology. We can take a look at just what went down here earlier on this evening with the championship belt arriving and debuting at the Hogue household, and see if we can get this all lined up. And indeed, that is not going to work. Because it's only live TV, folks. I mean, come on. Live TV. It's still on in the iRacing pace car, so we do have a quick opportunity here. There we go.
So, without further ado, Channing, it's kind of cool that you're here. What has arrived?
Live on the air. Nobody knew this was happening, by the way.
No, not even me.
I'm ready for it. What is it?
What has arrived?
Let's get a puppy! Oh, that's not a puppy.
Championship title.
Oh, the belt.
So
The bad belt.
Live.
Oh.
That's still got the saran wrap on it. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow. This is my first time. UPS just stopped by. This is my first time seeing it in person. If you're viewing right now.
So technically that should just be on my shoulder for the right now, or I should be holding it. Yeah, that's dope.
That is nice.
So, yeah.
I actually do. Just looking at you open. So very cool to be able to check out the Liberty Racing League Championship belt live as it arrived at West's house earlier this evening. I was on SlamDraftin with Liberty Racing League. Cool to take a look at that, and well, a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look here of an AIM TV as well. So, awesome championship belt, and we heard Hogue was racing Florida. He wants that championship belt. He's back on the lead lap. As we saw, he was under power under that last or before that last caution. See if we can maybe grab an onboard. I think what we'll do is we're going to restart this thing from onboard to on Hogue. You can hear that motor still kind of sounds a little bit on the sourer side. He's back here in 17th spot. He qualified on the pole. Quick motor, or quick truck. So far, so good. Everything seems okay. So that's definitely good news. Thank you, Captain. Shout out to the driver up in front of that truck there. So it seems like everything is good to go for West Hogue. A couple of laps down earlier on, got him back with the caution flags, and we're just going to stop talking about him because the whole commentary curse here as we get the cross flags halfway home, 40 laps in, 40 laps to go. And you can see Hicks in the 76 car leading right now. We haven't really seen too many big packs up towards the front. It's been a couple of trucks that have kind of hooked up, pull away just a little bit, and then a few packs in behind them will kind of get lined up side by side. You can see the 26 truck all by his lonesome on that high side. Everybody else hugging that yellow line down in the bottom of the racetrack. Snaking kind of way down. You can see he's going to move down to the bottom of the racetrack there and tuck in line front of the 28 truck, that orange truck right in behind him now. And pretty much single file, it looks like, for the top 12 or so before it gets a little bit side-by-side action. There's that 2 truck holding on to his spot. Wes Hogue in the 11 truck, or in the 11th spot, rather. He's coming in a hurry. That 38 truck is moving. You can see he's got it hooked up here down on the bottom side. We always heard about how Dale Earnhardt could see the draft. Well, Wes Hogue can see the internet draft, I think. I think he can see, like, the zeros and ones in the air. It's weird seeing Wes Hogue on super speedways. But in any sense, breaking into the top 10 after a couple of incidences earlier on, finding himself a lap down, got that wave around, got that lucky dog, and there you can see he's up in the top 10. Once again, up front, though, still Hicks and Colvin 1 and 2. Check that. Collier going to move up to the high side, try and get around those drivers up in the first few spots. It doesn't really have too much help, but you can see Hogue sees somebody up on the high side. He's going to get up there and at the very least try and utilize that draft and get himself up towards the front. Now that he's there, we can see that the quick repair changed out that motor under that last caution. Found himself a lap down earlier on. We've heard Wes say time and time again, he can win races, but he wants to win more races. He needs to win more races because he wants that championship belt. And you can see up into the top 5 now. Gets up behind the O2 truck, knows how to get it done on these super speedways. Won the 500-miler for Verdane.net back a few weeks ago here on Verdane TV. Last week's winner, hard into the outside wall, done up for the evening, I believe. Want to double check? Yeah, indeed, done for the evening. But up front, Hicks, Collier, Colvin, Hogue, Carver in the top 5. Kurt Slope, Anderson, Gerald Skidmore gonna be in the top 10. And last week's winner still in the race, back in 15th. John Ballou, sorry about that, John, in the 62 truck, still looking relatively smooth, relatively clean, hanging out on that high side here, working lap number 43. Truck getting hooked up with O2 of Collier, driving all the way around the outside, around the entire pack, finding themselves in a 1 and 2, and getting themselves hooked up, lined up to hold on to those spots. Hogue qualifying on the pole, Collier back in 8th. They run 1 and 2 right now, starting to get a little bit dicey. In for 4th on back. Hicks is tucked in, single file, and you can see 3 wide in behind them for 3-4 rows. Again, you can always tell when the drivers are watching us on Verdane TV. The 62, last week's winner. What do you mean I'm still not in this race? Here he is in the top 5. Up into that 5th position with still some more steam to go. Breaking into the 4th spot now as he gets around the 91 car. Trying to get side by side and a little bit further on the 76 and up that line. You can see he's got help now from the back. That 3rd almost moving into that 2nd line, but they get it sorted back out. The 2 truck now up to the back bumper of the 62, and this is going to be able to get him a huge push down these straightaways. You can see just a massive run coming out of turn number 4 as those drivers get hooked up the way they needed to, and they're going to push from that middle groove, and you can see just how much of a run they have getting down into the corners here. 62 is going to tuck right down in front of the O2 car, leave the 2 of Chalder out to dry, but he's going to have a couple of trucks trying to help him out coming up from the back there. But Ballou still holding on to it. Collier in 2nd. Or Ballou now the new leader as we cross the stretch. Collier back to 2nd. Chalder, Hogue, and Hicks in top 5. Top three trucks, single file or so. The two trucks up in the front, Blue and Collier, breaking away just a little bit. Hoag's starting to bridge that gap, and he's already peaking on the high side. He's got that 76 in behind him now of Michael Hicks. Michael Carpenter back a little bit further on back. Telder in the two truck there as well. The 02 going to try and jump up to the high side. Hoag says, nah, I'll stay down here. Oh, the leader comes down pit road under green flag conditions. I couldn't tell if that was on purpose or not. It had to have been. That was a huge move from the lead. A couple of trucks coming down pit road. May very well doing a little short pitting action here. 20 laps to go, 30 laps to go. The distance in this one may very well be doing a little bit of short pitting. They know no matter what happens, they don't have to come down pit road again. And this racetrack, 3 miles long, they aren't going to lose a lap here under caution or under green flag conditions. So that may very well be a big move that we're going to have to keep an eye on later on in this one. But that's going to bump Hoag into the lead. Hicks in the 76 truck going to be running in second. You can see lined up single file pretty much for the front 8 positions or so. Everybody else electing to stay out in this one. All drivers coming down just recently, I believe. So 12, 18 laps or so. So those drivers are going to have to pit one more time. But, man, it's just a handful of drivers coming down being led by the leader doing some short pitting action. A gutsy call. We'll see where they end up at the end of the night. Oh, contact with up front. Caution flag going to fly here in this one. Lots of trucks. Couple of trucks involved in this one. Hicks still getting wrecked. Dumped all the way back down. You can see just how dinged and danged up that truck is here with 30 laps to go. And those drivers not losing a lap there when they came down. So they're going to rejoin the whole field here. And they know they're going to have enough fuel for the rest of this one. But, man, that's a tough break for the 76 truck. We'll back up to U-House Racing Designs Instant Replay and find out what happened. Yeah, we have it on the U-House Racing Designs Instant Replay, and we had it on the U-House Racing Designs Instant Replay. There's a live shot for you, but we'll get that backed up. It's only live TV, folks, right? We'll get that back queued up and take a look at it here. But a couple of drivers getting involved in that. The 76 getting a piece of the action on all 4 sides of that race truck, from up in the top 5, running in the top 3 really, and big time damage. A little bit of bumper cars action going on there as well. Got a piece of the outside wall, running for second, and just looks like maybe an ill-timed move here, but we'll take a peek here at the U-House Racing Designs Instant Replay and focus in on the 76. There you see Collier is going to peek down on the low side. 76 is kind of committed to the back bumper of Hoag. Hoag comes down. The 76 tries to kind of follow him down there, but the 02 was there, so a couple of drivers going for the same piece of real estate. And you can see got a little tag there a couple of times. But here's an interesting thing. Back to the live shot. Everybody back down pit road. Everybody. Even the drivers that came down under caution last time. Nope, just kidding. They're going to... All right, yeah. Well, nope, they're going to stay out on racetrack. Okay. So that makes a whole lot more sense. There you can see the 62. He's going to be leading this race. He's going to be getting around some of these, I believe, lap cars, as it were. The rest of the drivers still down on pit road getting service. And they have to get tires. They got to get fuel. There's a handful of drivers, though, that are still out on the racetrack. John Ballou, Matt Telder, Wesley Hoag coming off pit road. So Telder and Ballou, the only 2 drivers that stayed out. It looks like everybody else came back down pit road under caution. So Ballou and Telder still on that same strategy, coming down under green flag conditions just a few laps ago. And everybody else, it looks like, came down pit road this time by. So, doesn't really seem like tires are wearing off too much here at iRacing Super Speedway. So I think that may very well be a good call. But he's also going to have enough fuel, hopefully, allegedly, for the remaining 28 or so laps here in this one, pitted with 30 laps to go. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that one for sure. Drivers getting lined up 2 by 2 around the racetrack behind that pace car once again. A little bit of a caution-filled evening here at iRacing Super Speedway. Good, clean racing so far here in the Liberty Racing League, and a little bit of a different track. You got to give these drivers the benefit of the doubt. It's a fictional track that iRacing put together. It's a behemoth of a racetrack, 40-degree banking, 3 miles all the way around, and it's much, much bigger than your Daytona, than your Talladega, and any other really circle track that any of these sim racers are on. So really hard to kind of practice for something that you're not familiar with. And this racetrack was put together in another racing game back in about the 2003 or so era. So that's kind of bringing that over. A lot of drivers not kind of familiar with the fictional track. You know, it's not, they haven't put it in other iRacing leagues or other simulators or games or anything like that. So it's hard to practice for something that you're new on. So these drivers seeing this track for the first time here this evening, and it definitely makes for a tough night. We'll call it a tough night here. Working lap number 53. Everybody racing for that championship belt. Saw it debut live this evening on SlamDraftin with Liberty Racing earlier this evening. And if you didn't see it, definitely check out the Liberty Racing League Facebook page, as the link has been posted up there. Beautiful championship belt for the champion at the end of this season. Green flag in the air once again. The 62 gets a good shot, a restart there. Everybody getting through, getting up through the gears. John Ballou holding on to the lead. Hogue right in behind him. Good push. And you see the Matt Silver machine, number 2, going to tuck into the 3rd spot. Slide on down in front of the 24. The O2 of Collier up on the high side. First truck up there. Everybody else trying to get lined up, trying to find where they're going to make their magic happen. Hogue going to go on the high side here with working lap number 54. He's got some help. The 24 is going to dip on up there, get right up on his back bumper, and see if he can't push that 38 truck up towards the front. But you can see a big push now for the 62 from Telder, pushing it into that back bumper, lets off just a little bit in the corner, so he doesn't get into him, doesn't get him turned around. The same thing happens up on the top side. The number 24 car of Gerald backs up just a little bit to give Hogue enough room to kind of maneuver through the turns. Then they get hooked up. Another great big push. The 38's actually going to tuck in line there on the bottom side in front of the O2 car of Collier, and he's going to take that 5th position. As the 24 of Gerald going to drop back just a little bit. He's going to get past now on the outside. Nope, 28 car dropping on back. 76 truck of Hicks trying to make a little bit of a comeback, breaking back in to the top 10. Currently running in 8th, but these drivers know, getting down to the nitty-gritty. Couple of laps to go. We're past the halfway mark. Some of these drivers, all these drivers, are confident in being able to make it on the final, on the tank of fuel that they've got. So going to be interesting to see if any of that fuel mileage kind of breaks into strategy right now. But as they run, 7, 8 cars, trucks lined up single file. Free truck breaking off multiple laps down there. That's going to be Jason Foskey coming down pit road. See if he gets some service done to that machine. Staying out for points as it were. And it's 25 laps to go here in Liberty Racing League. The bshow.info Holiday Challenge. And Ballou, last week's winner, holding on to the lead right now. Telder's been all over the back bumper in that 2 machine, trying to keep him up there, keep him up in the lead, keeping himself in a 2nd position. Swope is right in there behind him. Anderson and Hogue, the top 5. Collier, Gerald, Duval, Carpenter, Hicks, the top 10. picking up. You can see those lines now double file throughout the racetrack, but they are in fact tighter. Collier leading the 02 truck up on the high side, the 62 down to the bottom. Once again, the cream rising to the top. Ooh, yeah, the two winners of the series so far this season are running 1 and 2, and they won that championship belt. They're already locked into the championship playoffs, but they want to make sure that everybody knows that they're here to win. They're here to win races. They're here to win that championship belt, and they're here to throw that championship belt up and over their shoulders and call themselves the super speedway champion. There you can see Ballard getting that bottom side a little bit spicier down at the bottom. Teller in the 2 truck really pushing the back bumper of the 62. You can see the 82 now joining the party. Swope is up there with him. The 18 truck of Anderson, the 84 all Hogue still up in the mix as well in the 38. Hicks, Skidmore, and Luskowski rounding out the top 10. And we saw Taylor Luskowski kind of drop towards the back of the pack earlier on in this one. Slowly gaining traction, gaining back up into the top 5, top 10, or getting close to the top 5 in the top 10. Skidmore just outside. Carpenter, Brent Roy there, 13th. Coleman there in 14th. Pretty much a who's who of the Liberty Racing League. These guys have been putting on a heck of a show here so far this season, and a great group of guys. A lot of camaraderie in the field here. These drivers know that they want to put on a show here, so might have had themselves a little bit of a pep talk there on that last caution flag from race officials, and it has definitely shown as the racing has gotten hotter. Big push there on the outside line. Is it going to be enough? Look at the run at the end of the straightaways. 84 truck. We'll get it sorted out by the time we're back in the cars. 84 truck is the call all over the back bumper there, really pushing very, very well on the front and back straightaway, and then doing the right thing where you're basically backing up before you get into the corners to let those drivers to basically let them control their truck. Get the car set up, get the truck set up in the corners, hold on to their line, make sure everything is ready to rock and roll, and then once the quarter ends, you get that draft, get right back up to that back bumper, start pushing once again. So these drivers have definitely studied the science here of bump drafting, and it shows. Great racing. 20 minutes to go. .17 laps to go, and you can see the field has gotten themselves strung out just a little bit. Single file for quite a ways here, it looks like. Almost the entire field, a straight line all the way back. You got to get back to here, back just outside the top 20 before we see a little double wide action. These drivers seeing that There's still a little bit of time in this one, so you don't want to spend it all under caution, but they want to get down towards the end of the race and really start to show, get that momentum. They want to see what these trucks are really able to do as they get down and around this massive behemoth of a racetrack. And as we say that, it seems caution flag has flown once again here at iRacing Super Speedway. Looking like Rick Seabrands in the 4 truck, James Meyer in the 95 involved in this one. So we got the U-House Racing Designs instant replay lined up and get that out there on the airwaves and find out just what it was that's brought ourselves under caution. And it looks like a little bit of a racing deal as we'll take a look from high up atop the racetrack in the old drone footage here. We'll take a peek at it again. The U-House Racing Designs instant replay. Focus in on that 4 truck there of Rick Seabrands, and you can see there's the contact, sends the 9 up in the outside wall and just barely clips the 4 car up in the outside wall, almost saves it, but gets into the 95 truck. So the good thing is there's not a lot of things around this massive racetrack that can do a lot of damage. So a lot of little bumper tag there for a couple of cars towards trucks towards the back. They're gonna have to come down pit road obviously and get the crews to kind of work on the virtual sheet metal just a little bit, get it kind of sorted out and dinged out, and get it back out on track here for the final 16 laps. Looks like we're gonna get that restart with about 14 laps to go, and we see a lot of the drivers, everybody peeking down towards pit road, and in fact everybody's gonna come down pit road. They don't want to chance it. They're seeing the trends here so far here tonight. A lot of caution flags. May very well be a green-white checkered finish on this one. So these drivers are going to come down pit road, get the tanks topped off, and find themselves back out on track. Everybody catching back up with the pace car, getting everybody lined back up, and that right there erases any doubt that there may have been an issue with fuel mileage or tires or anything like that. Gives a good insurance policy for these drivers to know that they can definitely make it now, even if we were to get an attempt or two at a green-white checker. There you see David Watts, the 54 truck, coming off pit road. Rick Seabrands is coming off pit road there as well. He'll rejoin the tail end of the field here. John Ballou holding on to the lead. Matt Swope in second. Wesley Hogan third. Taylor Skoski in fourth. Bobby Anderson rounding out the top 5. The 2 truck of Matt Telderman up front all night long runs in 6th. Michael Carpenter, Rob Collier, Bobby Gibson, and Brent Roy rounding out the top 10 with 14 laps to go when we cross the stripe and take that green flag once again for the restart. Going to be 13 laps to go here in the bshow.info holiday special, holiday challenge rather, here at iRacing Super Speedway. This is going to be a doozy. Everybody lined up 2 by 2 there on the backstretch, ready to rock and roll one more time here at iRacing Super Speedway. And you're watching it Oh, by the way, on Vidane TV Live, so be sure to give us a like, a subscribe, a share, a follow, all that good stuff on all the social media outlets. We'll let your friends and family know that you're watching some iRacing action here on Vidane TV. And while you're at it, if you're getting kind of cold, it's going to be cold down in northern Florida. Wes and I were talking before the show, teens this weekend, so that's going to be tough for the folks down south. Head over to Vidane.net. Shipping probably won't get you there before Christmas, but you know what? Head on over there, get yourself a Vidane TV hooded sweatshirt, a t-shirt, a hat, all that good stuff. Rent a race car brand, Angry Tree Guy, all sorts of stuff over there as well. Use that promo code Liberty for 10% off at checkout. There goes the pace truck, pace car. One more time, we're going to get ready to go racing once again here at iRacing Super Speedway. "13 laps to go, slicing and dicing, weaving and bobbing, snaking their way through the field, trying to get up through the gears, trying to get up towards the front. Lights are off in the iRacing pace truck. Lined up 2 by 2, and there you see him, the 62, down the bottom side. Last week's winner, Blue. Still winless this season, 2 races in. Starting tonight, Hogue, starting tonight on the pole, runs it in second, had himself an up and down, and up and down, and up and down, I believe, night here at iRacing Super Speedway. Found himself in an earlier incident, lapped down at one point, got the free pass, got into another incident, blew the motor in the 38 truck, had to use that quick repair, back up into the second position right now, trying to get himself a victory in the Liberty Racing League this season, trying to get himself locked into the playoffs, the championship playoffs, to try and get that championship belt. Saw it debut live here on Verdane TV and SlamDraftin with Liberty Racing League earlier on tonight. Little podcast action that we do on 6:30 Eastern Time here on race nights in the Liberty Racing League world. Be sure to check it out. It's hosted by myself, Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., and Rowdy Wesley Hogue. And we try to have the previous race winner on there as well, just to kind of talk about their perspective on the race. So be sure to jump on board with us as well. We're going to have to get Joe on there from bshow.info as well. bshow.info jumping on board with the Liberty Racing League this season, and big supporters here at Verdane TV. I know Joe's out there watching from his hotel room in Vegas. A little bit jealous, not going to lie, but that's right, Vegas on the strip here at Verdane TV. But back at iRacing.com, iRacing Super Speedway, green flag flies, 10 laps to go. And there you can see great restart by the 62. As the 82 rather, up Swope behind him. That Swope combination showed a few weeks ago and last week that they really know how to draft work very, very well together. So we'll see how they work together with other drivers there. You can see a lot of those Warrior Motorsports trucks making their way up towards the front. Single digits to go now. 9 laps to go here at iRacing Super Speedway. Hogue doing everything he can to make that high side work. He's got the 2 truck right in behind him now. Taylor pushing all over his back bumper. We saw he was all over the back bumper of the 62 earlier on, and you can see now that has changed up just a little bit. Taylor knows how to push all over the back bumper now off the 38 truck of Hogue. You can see just how big of a run that outside line gets coming out of the corners, but they just lose a lot of it down in the corners there, as the bottom side has such a shorter way around this racetrack. No restrictor plates here, so these trucks are wide open all the way on. A little onboard action with your leader. This is what the 62 truck's looking at out his windshield. A massive, clean racetrack. No drivers out in front, not having to worry about any kind of lap traffic whatsoever here at this point. There you can see another run from that high side. More trucks now getting tightened up, getting grouped up on that high side, trying to push the 38 truck. There's a bit of a bobble there from the 82. Once again, hits that yellow line, box up the track just a little bit. No contact, but he loses a little bit of momentum for that entire bottom side. You can see one of the Warrior Motorsports, that's going to be the 5 truck of Carpenter, going to slide on up into the high side and see if he can get some of that momentum going. But there you see it, 8 trucks lined up on the high line, 7 or 8 down on the bottom side, and we are in a dead heat as the caution flag looks like it's going to fly once again because we are wrecking. We'll back up to U-House Racing Designs instant replay once again. This actually happened up towards the front, and we'll see if we can take a look at it from high at, atop the racetrack. A little under the weather here in the Verdane HQ. We're going to have to get this sorted out. But there you see it, and focus in here on that 75 truck. You can see just gets a shot there from, I believe that was the 28 truck, out into the outside wall, tags a few other trucks on the way by, and that is a tough break for the 75, working back up towards the front for that Skidmore camp. So Big time damage with single digits left to go. Looks like they've called it a night. They are getting that thing loaded up in the virtual hauler and getting ready to take it out of here. All lined up. Caution-filled night here at iRacing Super Speedway for the bshow.info Holiday Challenge. 80 laps on the docket here tonight. 4 laps to go. 3 when you take your restart when you cross the stripe. Last week's winner, tonight's guest on SlamDraftin with Liberty Racing. John Ballou up in the front. League official, league owner, league founder, Wesley Hogue runs in second. Matt Swobe in third. Matt Telder in fourth. Bobby Anderson rounding out the top 5. Michael Carpenter, Bobby Gibson, Donovan Gerald, Kevin West, and Brent Roy rounding out the top 10. iRacing lights are off on the pace car. We are getting ready to go racing once again. Blue green flag action to find ourselves a winner here in race number 3. Can Ballou repeat? Can he be the first repeat winner here this evening and extra pad his chances for that championship belt? Or are we going to have ourselves a new race winner? Someone else to make it a party for the championship playoffs here later on in the season. You're only going to catch it live here on Verdane TV. Thank you so much for tuning in here tonight. SlamDraftin with Liberty Racing earlier on here tonight on Verdane TV. Here with the bshow.info Holiday Challenge. The pace car's done. He's going to go down the pit road once again to the safety, get a Coke and a corn dog, and we leave it up to Barney and the flag stand, who waves that green flag once again. Not quite as tight up on the high side, but not quite as tight down on the bottom. These drivers getting on down through the gears. Look how quickly that 2-truck closed in to the back bumper of Hogue. Down on, or up on the high side of the racetrack. Massive push. It's going to be a huge push when they come out of turn number 2. Down that back straightaway. The 82 down the bottom side of Swope. The 5 of Carpenter up on the high side. A little onboard action with the leader, peeking out the right side of that window, looking. There it is, the nose of Rowdy Wesley Hogue. That is going to lead. You can see Hogue trying to jump down to the bottom side. Not quite enough there. The high side's going to go around him. He didn't have enough time to get up in front of that line. The top side all broken up. 3-car breakaway down on the bottom side. Hogue now trying to get down to the bottom side. That hole is closed. The guy tries to force his way back into it in the middle groove. Can't get himself organized. Can't get any help. And now has help. 3-4 trucks lined up in that middle groove, but for how long? Do they have enough time? Popsicle sticks. 2 laps to go now. Bellew holds on to a strong lead. Swope in behind him. 3, 4, 5 trucks lined up single file. The 82 of Swope now. Gonna jump up to the high side. He's bringing everybody with him. Everybody trying to get around last week's race winner. And that's, there you see it. That's gonna be the 82 to 5. Those are the Motorsports Warrior Motorsports trucks. We talked about them a couple of times over the past couple of weeks. Great drafting partners, great teammates. And there they are up in the top 3 once again. The HV truck of Bobby Anderson there as well. Man, single file for about 5 on back. We're going to come to the start-finish line and take the white flag, white flag. 1 lap to go here at iRacing Super Speedway. You can see there's a little bit of a challenge up on the high side. But these guys down up in the front, looks like they're going to try and maneuver themselves around the racetrack. High side cannot get organized. It doesn't look like there's 3 trucks down lined up, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be enough. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle now. A couple of trucks going up towards the high side. 3 wide now for third as the rest of the field closes on back up. Going to be a wild final lap here at iRacing Super Speedway. The Liberty Racing League coming to a close here this evening, but not without a fight. How about Collier on the high side? Massive push. The O2 car has the run of the high side. Contact behind them. They race side by side down the front straightaway, across the start-finish line. It's going to be Collier. Collier comes home with the victory. Swope in second. Carpenter third. Oh, what an evening to lose your voice here at ATV with a doubleheader, triple header even. Carplex Racing League coming up here after the fact, but man, oh man, Rob Collier coming home with a solid finish, a solid victory here, an impressive victory. And we'll take a look here at the race results as they happened. But man, oh man, Rob Collier showing that he is going to be coming for that championship belt. He wins tonight's race. Matt Swope, we made mention, finishes in second. Michael Carpenter in second. John Bellew, last week's winner, there in fourth. Bobby Gibson, the top 5. How about Bobby Anderson coming back, that 18 truck in 6th? Rick Seabrands in the 7th position. Wes Hogue back to 8th after that finagle there. Kevin West in 9th. Jarrett Bolliard comes up into the top 10. I don't think we mentioned Jarrett all evening long. Coming home with a solid top 10. Nathan Brown there in 11th. Mark Mann, TJ Floyds, David Watts, and Matt Telder dropping all the way back to 15th. Jack Duval there in 16th. Donovan Gerald, Brent Roy up in 18th, it looks like. And as we sift on through the rest of the field, there you can see James Muir and Christopher Kurtz going to round out, or Michael Hicks going to round out to 21 drivers on the lead lap. And there's the rest of the field on your screen. But we'll see if we can get hooked up with these drivers that came home with the victory. Already ready to rock and roll down in victory lane, man. First repeat winner here of the season. Rob Collier showing he saw that belt earlier tonight on SlamDraftin with Liberty. He wants that championship belt on his shoulder. Rob, great run here tonight.
Oh, man, that just made up for just, hate to say it, how much of a mess tonight was. But damn, I had to say that. I'm going to have to go watch back and just clip that one. That was a damn good run, I think it was.
Absolutely. Long night here at iRacing Super Speedway. Made mention at the top of the show. Lots of room here, but lots of room for error. And I think that kind of won in tonight. A little bit of a war of attrition here at iRacing Super Speedway. But, man, you came out on top. 2 wins on the season. It's showing that you know your way around the Super Speedway here. So definitely going to be battling for that championship once it comes down to it.
Yep, that's the plan. It's like, just put myself in position and just go from there. The easy part is just getting into the playoffs, and don't know what's going to happen once we actually get there. But 2 wins, third top 5 now. Can't complain. It's a good start.
100%. And want to give you the opportunity here, Rob, to thank anybody that makes it happen here for you for the virtual O2 team. Who gets you to and from the track?
Well, first, thank bshow.info for sponsoring the race again tonight. So thanks to them. Of course, thank Wes for putting up with the shenanigans for tonight. Thank the wife for letting me keep racing this stuff. And shout out to my NSR guys who threw together this lovely Dale's Dead Bugs F-150 with a good old pocket sand on the back. Yeah.
Throwing a little pocket sand there with that victory burnout, a little slow motion victory burnout action for the O2. But 2 wins on the season, Rob. Congratulations, man. We'll see you next week on SlamDraftin.
All right. Thanks again.
100%. And second and third place, well, that's going to be easy to interview because these guys are on the same team and they work well together. And I think we did this once already before. But Matt Swope, Michael Carpenter, Warrior Motorsports. You guys know a thing or two about this super speedway racing. Matt, we'll start with you. Great run here tonight. What was going through your mind?
Throughout this race was getting through the corners, Paul. For real, that's really what you got to do here in iRacing Super Speedway. You got to get in and out of the corners. If you don't do that, then you're not going to make it to the end.
That's right. Straightaways are easy. It's the corners that aren't quite straight, but lots of calamity, lots of things to avoid here. But a little bit of a war of attrition here as well. But came home with a solid run, and you guys had an opportunity to kind of hook up and show just how well you draft together. Not too many long green flag runs here tonight, but still had the opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me, Michael, Elliot, Freddie, some of us, we've been trying to run together a little more, get a little more practice in. So, yeah, we've been communicating well. We didn't have our main communicator with us tonight. Elliot, he's took his little Christmas vacation to Disney World, but we did well together. Nice little second and third. I was happy with that. I was happy to get a good finish. I thought maybe we were going to push for the win there at the end, but that outside run got that run, and I was going to block it, but I was just, I was happy with where I was. I've been battling for the lead at the last two races and ended up 13th. So I just wanted a good finish tonight.
Absolutely, and definitely came home with it. I want to give you an opportunity here, Matt. Thank anybody that's watching at home. Any sponsors that you've got for the 82 truck?
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Tech for Troops, IWM Broadcast Network. I didn't expect to be in the top 3 here, so I'm not really sure our sponsor here for the Liberty Racing, bshow.org, I think. It sounds
close.
Right.
Close. bshow.info.
bshow.info. I appreciate you guys for putting this on. EPI, Elite Performance Industries, Wes, Taylor, thanks guys for putting this stuff on. It's been a blast. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Ellie. Thanks for all my drafting partners. Thanks for all my streamers that come out and watch me. Angelin, Halls, David, everybody. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you, Paul, for doing the broadcast. You do a great job, buddy.
Absolutely. Always appreciate hearing that as well. And his teammate finishing right next to him, right behind him, Michael Carpenter, coming home with a podium as well. Michael, what was going through your mind with that last lap there?
My goal was to try to get to Matt's bumper there. I knew the outside. I knew the guy was going to jump to the outside. I think it was Rob. And when he did that, I thought that was my chance to push Matt to the win. And then the 2 truck side drafted me coming off of 4, and I just could not get there. And I was hoping for a better finish than that. I was hoping Matt would win, but we'll take a second and a third.
Absolutely.
100%. Another repeat winner here tonight, so it makes points that much more important here as we get later and later into the season. But podiums are never anything to shake a stick at, and we know you don't do it alone there. Michael, we got to give you an opportunity to thank anybody that might be watching at home.
Yeah, same with me, man. Just my teammates on iRacing Warriors Motorsports, Matt, Elliott, Freddie, everybody, Dan, David, obviously IWM Broadcast Network, EPI, and Tech for Troops are our sponsors for our team. And Matt for running a heck of a race, man. We miss Elliott tonight, but we'll get him back. We're gonna get that checker flag one of these days.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, a solid run here for the iRacing Warriors Motorsports team, finishing 2 and 3 here tonight. Rob Collier coming home with the victory. John Ballou, last week's winner, finishes 4th. Bobby Gibson, easy enough for me to say, rounding out the top 5. And that's actually going to do it here for us for Liberty Racing League tonight. Don't go too far. Grab a snack, grab a cold beverage. Well, grab a warm beverage because it's cold here in Connecticut. Get yourself a hot chocolate, a nice tea, maybe a coffee or something. Get right back here for Verdane TV, the Canadian Kartplex Series coming back up from the Charlotte Roval, running a little Mazda's action. That's going to be in about a half hour's time. Be sure to tune in and check that out. Rowdy Wesley Hogue joining me in the booth for that. But until then, we will